Hey, loves. I'm here to tell you all about Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free. They have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more. You can make money from Anchor, and everything you need to make a podcast is all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Welcome to this week's episode of Young Monarchs, a motivational podcast where boss babes like you can learn, live, and thrive off of each other through the stories of my journey and other young monarchs along the way. We're on our grind and living life unapologetically. I'm your host, Tiara, Miss Tiara XO on Instagram. Now let's get into it. Hey, boos. Welcome to episode 24 of the Young Monarchs podcast. Thank you for all the love that you've given. Thank you for all the comments, the likes, the follows, the subscribes, the everything. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into the boss shit segment of this week. I got to give this one to myself because your girl has been doing well. No lie, I have never been consistent with something that I wasn't forced to be consistent on. Schoolwork, something you have to do, was consistent. Going to practice when I was in high school, going to dance practice, golf practice, I was there every practice because I had to be consistent. But something like from myself that I want to do for myself, I have never been this consistent in my life. I have never been this dedicated in my life, and I just had to give this one to me because your girl just got her first brand partnership this past week, 7 months in, and one of my favorite skincare brands, Curology, the face wash I use, I use their morning time, I use all of their products, reached out and wanted to do something with me. And I was like, you know me. And I was just so excited because I plan everything. Like I plan when I'm going to reach out to people who I want to be on the podcast. I plan when I'm going to work on it. I plan when I'm going to do media kits. I plan when I'm going to make a website and do whatever. And I just did not plan to have brands already interested or a brand interested in working with your girl. So I had to give it to myself this week because I have genuinely been so consistent. And I feel like when I got the message about the partnership, I was just like, God, are you trying to tell me to keep going? I was like, this got to be a sign because I was not prepared. And it's not like I don't want to stop doing this, but sometimes it is like, do you want to continue to put yourself out there, or do you want to continue to try building something that, you could mess up or whatever could happen? Those like fears that come in the back of your head. But I just took it as a sign from the Lord that He just wanted me to keep on pushing. So I had to definitely give it to myself because I am loving what I'm doing. I'm loving all the people I'm getting to meet. And I'm really just waiting for the doors to open. Once the doors open on the city, I'm going to be hitting some events, networking events, girl little brunches, happy hours, or whatever. I'm going to be in these streets all the way in. I'm knees deep in the streets when this virus goes away completely. So today we're going to talk about discernment and really how to fill it out and how to get through it, how to really just do what you always know is best for you. And different people see discernment in different ways. Some people see it as feeling the vibes or feeling the energy in the room. But today I'm going to use discernment. And just by definition, discernment is the ability to obtain sharp perception or judgment well. It's also the act of doing so. And so discernment was I feel like discernment is something I've always been able to do. I've always been able to discern who people are, kind of discern what situations or what choices I need to make. And my mom and my aunt have called me before after listening to some of maybe the YouTube videos or another podcast episode where I talk about just kind of feeling that, somebody shouldn't be for me or I shouldn't go here or there. And they say like discernment is specifically the Holy Spirit when you're talking about things that these are like internal struggles that you're going for. And I feel like discernment is considered a virtue because people with discernment are sometimes, they're just in general considered to have like more wisdom and or have good judgment. But at the same time, I feel like everybody has some type of discernment in them and to them. But I just don't know if people choose to like listen to those voices on the inside that tell you like, don't do this, or something's not for you, or do this, or you should definitely like get to know this person. But I definitely don't feel like everybody listens to those little voices in their body. And that is exactly everything that this episode is going to be about. So I feel like a major key in just having discernment as an individual is learning what doesn't serve you. Learning, like y'all know what I was talking about, learning what doesn't serve you, not going to an event if you know this event's not going to benefit you in any way, not taking a job opportunity if you know like you're not really taking a step up or going in the right direction, that, well, the quote unquote right direction that you feel like you need to be going in. So from doing some research, I found 4 really good questions that you should always ask yourself when you are trying to figure out if something serves you. Really, if you're trying to figure out if you should do something or not. The first question is this a good opportunity? Or if you're even trying to discern a person, like should you have a person in your life? Is this a good person? Or is this a good opportunity? Then you say, is this for me? Like if you genuinely say that, if you can genuinely say that you know yourself, is this opportunity for you? Like, will this opportunity fit into the vision that you have for your own life? Is this wise? Is the third question. And I feel like when they ask you, is this wise? Does this opportunity or does this person fit what you're called to be in life? Like you genuinely know who you are. So when you're looking at an opportunity or looking at a person and you're trying to understand or feel like how deep you should get involved or if you should go left or right, it's really, is this for me? Like, is this wise for me? Like, what am I called to be and how does this person or this opportunity fit into play? And then the last question, is this what you want? Is this experience? Like if you know everything that comes with this opportunity or everything that comes with this person, is this what you want? And after you answer those 4 questions, then you make your choice. So sometimes I feel like when we're in these moments of decisions, we hear God's voice quieter or sometimes not at all, because in general, I'm sure He wants us to use our heart and our mind and really understand those 2 parts in ourselves, because He gave those to us. So I feel like it's always the hardest decisions that I have to make when I'm just, not sure what to do. And I'm just like, hey, God, help me out over here. I don't know what to do. And it's those times where we just have to understand ourselves, understand what serves us, understand what's wise for us. And I feel like we should always remember you might not, hear God's voice in those times of you making those decisions, but whatever decision you make, you should always know and remember that God is still going to be on the other side of whatever decision you make. So if you always making this decision that you feel like is in your best interest, He's going to be on the other side. And if you go through a door that you should not have gone through, He's also going to be on the other side. So there's so much grace in even still every day learning our hearts and learning our minds to know what we need to do for ourselves.
Want to be featured on the show? If you or a friend is on her grind to live her dreams, reach out to us on Instagram at _youngmonarch or me directly at Miss Tierra XO to be featured on an episode. Have a story to share? DM us on Instagram or leave a message at the link in our bio and we'll share it during the Motivational Tea next week. Now let's get back to the show.
So once we understand like what is for us and what is not for us and the opportunities and the people that we should have and take throughout life, I really feel like that helps us understand completely where not to give our energy to. Like I'm gonna give y'all the real tea because I have been in situations when my discernment kicked in right away. Um, and it's interesting because sometimes I say like, "Ooh, you got bad energy," or like like the vibes is off, like the vibes is crusty in this room. But it all comes down to discernment. Like I know for me, for an example, I got two homegirls. Well, I don't have just two homegirls, but we're gonna use two homegirls as examples, and these can be old, current, past, present, future. Who knows? So one of my homegirls, I just knew her, and she had invited me to her house to go out with her and some of her friends. Now, I knew none of her friends, but I knew her and she was cool, and we were building a friendship. So I, of course, wanted to hang out with her. Generally, like with me, not always having the best experiences with girls, or I wouldn't even say that. I would say like I've always been more closed off to making friends just because I was always so guarded, to whereas I'm not as guarded now with making friends, but I'm still cautious about like being present and like, feeling out the room for real because people will let you know. So I went to my homegirl's house and I think it was three of her friends there. When I came in the door, she introduced me to everybody. All the girls were really nice. They was chilling. As soon as I came in, like they was asking me, did I want something to drink? Did I want to take shots? We were listening to music. It was just a good time. And I had not known any of these girls, but just one in the room. And it was just a great time at her house. We went out to, I think we went out to a lounge or something, and it was just a good time. It was kind of like I had known them for a long time, and it wasn't no bad energy. Nobody was giving off no nasty vibes. Like it was just a good night. And then switching over to another story, one of my one of my other homegirls, past, present, or future. What I say, past, present, or future. I was real cool with her. Same, like we just getting to know each other, building a relationship. She asked me to come over with her and her friends. Okay, cool. This is not the same homegirl at all. So I go to her house. We're meeting there. We're supposed to drink and then go downtown. I think we're going to a bar or something. And I come in the house, and as soon as I come in, music was playing. She had let me in. She was introducing me to her friends. And after she had kind of introduced me to everybody, and I said, hey, said who I was, blah, 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 was just drinking and chilling while my friend went to go finish getting ready. So I was in like the living room area, kitchen area with my homegirl's friends, and they were just not friendly. Like they were not friendly. They was dry. They was like ice cold. And I was just thinking to myself, I was like, dang, this gonna be a long night. I was just like, I don't know what's going on. Like I was like replaying my introduction, looking at my outfit, trying to replay me walking through the door. And I was just like, why am I feeling, just dry? Why am I feeling stale in the room? But, I don't think nothing of it. Like, this is my first time meeting these girls. It's cool, we're going to loosen up. Maybe they haven't had enough shots yet. I hadn't had nothing to drink. So I was like, maybe we'll feel each other out later on during the night. We go to, I don't remember where we went. We went somewhere downtown. It was popping. Like the music was good. It was tons of people there. And I don't know where we were, like Edgewood or Peter Street. I don't know what it was. And they was just not showing your girl no love. And sometimes I be trying to think like, okay, you was stale at home. Now we get out, music good. We all sitting here, drinking, smoking hookah, having fun. We cute. And it's still stale at the table. Or not necessarily stale, but that's that's the energy that I was feeling. It was like they was all talking with my homegirl, and she was like including me in the conversation because I'm new to this group. but they was not engaged. Like they was not trying to engage with your girl. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, what did I do to these hoes? Like, what's going on? And I don't know. Like I didn't know. So I just kind of wrote it on now. Um, I think I drove separately and I left early because I was just like, I can have fun with my homegirl, just me and her, because her three friends is stank. So weeks, months, whatever, fast forward, and she invites me out again with her and her friends. But she says it's gonna be more friends and we're just gonna have a good time. We're just gonna go to like a big brunch. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll give it another try. You know, you're my friend. I want to be your friend. I want to build a good bond. So I'm gonna come. And hopefully your friends ain't stank acting this time. Pull up to the brunch. Now, I should have known better. I should have known by the second time, because, fool me once. I should have brought a friend. I should have brought somebody with me that I knew that came with me. So I knew like I was good. Like wouldn't have to leave early. It was any type of energy. I still had my friend I came with. But I didn't do that. I don't know. I was I was hopeful that the energy would change, but it didn't. So we're at the brunch. No engagement. Now I am just blown, honey. I'm just like, now I know who I am. I know that I have a resting bitch face. I can't do nothing about it. Like I have genuinely tried, but when I'm just plain faced and I smile, I look crazy. So my regular face is the resting bitch face. You just gotta still approach. You still gotta approach. Um, but we were at brunch. You know a brunch. You know a good brunch when you see one. The music is going. I was swaying in my seat, drinking my mimosas, eating my eggs, enjoying the music, like I always do. Now, no matter what the vibes is, once I get me a little mimosa in, and once some groovy tunes, like you don't got to tell me nothing. I'm slithering like a snake in my seat, and I'm enjoying my breakfast. So I was chilling, but the vibes was still off. Like they weren't talking to me, they weren't engaged with me. And now there were more people at this table now. So it wasn't as awkward as it was last time because I wasn't just like the one kind of odd man out because my homegirl had invited me. She was talking to me. This brunch, she had more of her friends, girls, guys. It was a lot of people there. So, like, I was talking to people, was having a good time, but I was so close to my friend. Her other friends that was giving me the nasty vibes was still there as well. So I'm just like, I'm feeling the nasty vibes, stale vibes coming from the left. I'm feeling the love coming from the right. So I'm going to just focus on the right. And then, we'll try it next time. Leave that brunch. As y'all can see, I'm really trying to be friends with homegirl. Okay. I'm really trying to understand, well, just to learn, like, at this point in my life, I no longer cared, like, if how you felt about me, but I just genuinely was so confused at why I was feeling this energy from them because I did not know who they were. I had never met these girls. They didn't even grow. I don't even think they grew up in the same state that I grew up in. So they didn't know me. They didn't know nothing of me, but they knew whatever my friend had told them. But my friend was still inviting me over. So I was like, she's not, telling them bad things about me because she wouldn't invite me over. Or if they was real friends, they would try to boss up on me and be like, my friend said blah, 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 blah. But they didn't do that. They just had stale, stank ass energy. And it was just so baffling to me. I just didn't understand. So by now, you know that I'm just too nice. And I should have never went to that second brunch. And I probably should have walked out of the first bar way earlier than I did. But I gave them another shot. And now I'm just like, girl, you gonna be boo boo the fool, or what you gonna do? What you gonna do? And I was like, all right, we're gonna do it how I've always treated male relationships in my life. With guys, you get 3 strikes and you're out. Like out. Like out the door, out the state, out the city. You get 3 strikes and you out. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to overextend myself to women who are not receptive to me at all. But I'm not going to, sell them short or sell myself short when I can probably have a good time with them if they, let the guard down, get the stank energy out the air. I don't know. So I gave him one more shot. And this wasn't a collective shot either. This was, I was somewhere and I was not there with my homegirl. I think I was just there with other friends. And her friends was there as well. But she wasn't there this time. So I was saying hey to and it wasn't just those 2 or 3 girls who was giving me that energy the whole time. It was really her and all of her friends from the brunch. And really more people that I hadn't even known was there as well. I just don't know why my friend wasn't there. So I'm mingling with the other people that I had met at the other brunch, having fun. I think we took a couple shots together. They asked me what's up, what I've been up to. Just I had met her friends at the last brunch. I wasn't gonna be sour and not say something to people I obviously knew and had obviously been around recently by this point. So I went to go speak. I was always taught to speak. So I went over there to speak, and they was giving these 3 girls was giving the same stank energy. And I was just like, what is wrong with these hoes? By now, I was just like, all right, this is 3 strikes, yeah, there. No longer trying to be nice. No longer trying to engage. I'm done. I'm not even gonna come over to you and try to say hello because you have just shown your ass yet again. And this is the 3rd strike. So, and I just didn't understand. By this point, I was like, they got a problem. They have a real problem with me and they won't address it. They won't. I don't know. I don't know. What are you to do when you're getting horrible energy from women that you have just never met in your life? And it wasn't I know who I am. I know what I look like. I know how heavy I come. I'm talking heavy in the beauty department because your girl is a baddie. And I'm a Georgia peach. Thick, beautiful, curly hair. I can beat face like the best of them. So I was like, you're definitely not giving me this stink energy because I'm ugly. Because your girl is cute. Okay? Your girl is cute. Your girl is a baddie. You should want to be my friend, sis. Is how I really felt by this 3rd time. By this 3rd instance, I was hype. I was hyping myself. I was like, these girls are crazy. And usually could chalk it up to, oh, they just think they're better than you. But that wasn't the case, sis. That was not the case. I could have read these hoes from left to right. But I was not. And I was being very kind. And I was being very nice. And I was just being friendly. And they was always stank. So I did not say hi to them in the club. I kept it pushing, went back to my little section, and had a good old time. But that was their 3rd strike. So leaving the club that night, I just chalked it up to they some hating assholes. And the energy was staying. I don't know what type of spirits they got on them. I don't know if it was jealousy. I don't know if it was envy. And yeah, those are real similar. I didn't know if my friend was telling them something that I did, but then I had to replay the whole friendship and just be like, I've never done anything sideways to this girl. I've never done anything wrong to her. I've never like been rude or been bitchy to her. So I was just like, it got to be the friends. And I just, every time I was around them, I felt the same way. And it was just, my discernment kept telling me over and over and over again, like, sis, they got problems of their own. Like, they not going to be happy with you. They not happy with themselves, is really what I got from it. Because I was just like, you acting this way and I don't know you. Didn't do nothing to your friend. And you always stale? Like, always stale? I was just so I was just so confused. So I just had to chalk it up to they were just some hating assholes. And I couldn't do it. It was like, I can't do nothing for you because I don't even know where to start. I try to make conversation dry. And I like I am not good at starting conversations with people at all. So if I try to start a conversation with you one time and you give me stale, that's the end of the conversation. Because whatever question I asked you was probably the only one that I had in my head to ask to start a conversation. And it didn't work. So I'm done here. So after that, I just kind of had to learn how to say no and just not feel bad about it. I knew that my friend was cool. I knew that I could hang out with her, just me and her, when I asked her to go somewhere or if she just wanted to do something with just me. But I was no longer for the group events with this friend. And I was just like, I can't do it. And I told her, like, I don't know, how your homegirls feel. I don't know if me and you ain't really what I'm thinking we is, but your homegirls are stale. Like saltine crackers, 10 months old stale. And I just had to tell her. I told her honestly because I kept saying no every time she went to do something with that included her other friends. And one day she was just like, why don't you want to come out with us anymore? Like as the group, because that's when she invited me to do stuff, it was more like going out to the clubs or the bars with her and her friends. But then me and her was still, I would go to her house, she would come to my house. We would go shopping together, eat together without her friends. And I was just like, yeah, your homegirls is saltine crackers. I don't know what you want me to do. They're salty. I don't know. They're stale. I try to talk to them and they just not feeling the teat. So I had to go. And it's really because since the first time I met them, when my friend went in the room to go finish getting dressed, I felt the vibes. Like I felt like it was just nothing. Like I don't even know how to I don't even know how to explain this feeling. Like when you are getting ready to go out, when you are getting ready to go to the club, you are getting turned. You are listening to music, you might be taking shots, you might be making jokes, you might be playing cards, whatever you're doing, you're not stale. The room doesn't feel empty, but the room felt empty. And I just didn't understand why. But the only thing that I can say was different was the fact that her friends was there. And I kind of felt it that first time like I don't know what it is. I couldn't put my finger on it. I really still can't put my finger on that energy that I was getting from them. But every single time it was the same stale, blank, empty energy. And it was just my discernment that very first time, like, sis, don't even go around these two and three. Like, all of them. Those three over there, don't go over there. Don't deal with them. Don't acknowledge them. Like, they're not for you. Ain't never going to be for you. And you don't want them to be for you. And that was kind of a good instance in my life where I was just like, I'm not going against myself again. Like this was after college. I was starting working in marketing at a marketing agency. And I was just like, why? Like, I'm not going to go against how I feel or how people make me feel. And I have really not really friends with this girl no more, but I ain't and never seen her friends again. Never really seen her again, but it wasn't because of this same situation. But I was just like, I can't go against myself. Your friends have been giving me nasty energy since the beginning. And unfortunately, now I kind of have to loop you in that because they're your best friends. They A1 day ones. And, the energy comes from somewhere. I couldn't put a finger on it. And God just told me to leave it alone. So I just kind of had to understand that I'm always gonna feel the same. Like I felt the same in every situation. Every time I was there, it was the same energy. It was nasty. It was stale. And two, I just wasn't gonna waste my time anymore. I knew if I wanted to have a good night to not go out with them. Like I knew for a fact that I would just be uncomfortable because I couldn't put my thumb on what was going on. I didn't really understand why I was getting this energy. So I was just like, it's a no for me. Like I can't do it. You want to go to the club, girl? No. It's a no for me. And that's just one of the best the best lessons I've ever learned, but I've always just had to learn lessons by experience, unfortunately, in some situations. But like this experience, 3 strikes and you're out. I gave them too many opportunities to show me who they were because I felt it the first time. Well, I knew when I walked in that door and I was waiting for my friends to finish getting ready, I knew it was stale. I knew it was not going to work, but I kept, trying to exert my energy there, trying to be friendly, trying to, just enjoy the time. Like I didn't even care to like be their friend or be their best friend. My friend had invited me out and I just wanted to have a good time. And it was not a good time at all. And I should have known that from the first time to where I wouldn't have wasted 2 more nights of nothing. And I say all of that and share all of those stories as 2 clear indicators of just when I should have listened to my discernment off bat. I knew 10 seconds in, it wasn't going to end well. Didn't end well the first, the second, or the third time. And I said earlier in the episode, like 3 strikes, you're out. But in all actuality, the first time something don't sit with you, you got to check it. You got to ask yourself those 4 questions. Like, is this for me? Like, does this deserve my energy? Does this deserve my time? And at that moment, I think I just wanted to have a good time. I was having a good time with my friend. She invited me out. So I was like, she cool. I told you the other story about my other homegirl where we all turned up, had a good time, and I had never met her friends before. So I was like, sometimes it can be me. Like sometimes I can have the bad energy. I don't know. But in the other story, everything was fine. The 3 times in this story, I was being cool. So it wasn't me. And I just should have listened to my discernment off top. Also, like I have so many other stories of when I could have listened to my discernment, but those were my favorite stories thus far because I've taken freelance opportunities or job opportunities where something told me like, don't do it. Don't take on that project. Don't go there. Or get out of there, sis. It's time to go. And I just didn't listen. But this was a perfect example of knowing that you should listen to your discernment the first time. Because each time I went out, it was stale, stanky, and stink. Like stale, stanky, and stink. It was all of those. And I just did not understand. But it was my discernment off bat. Like, T, don't even waste your time. Stay at home, watch Netflix, do whatever. Just don't go out with them. Okay. Let's get into the Get Your Life segment. So this week, when it comes to my discernment, well, this past week, since we talking on Monday, this past week, or really this past year, I have been doing very, very well with just saying no. Like just saying no and being honest when it comes to being at work and saying like I don't think I can take on this project right now. My plate is full. If it's being tired and somebody asks you to go somewhere or do something, just saying like no, no thank you. And You can choose to give an explanation. You can choose to just say, no, thank you. But either way, if it's somebody who really like understands you, somebody who really gets you, somebody who really respects your boundaries, really, if you say no or say I can't do it today or say I'm not feeling it no more, they will still be as cool with you as before. They will just learn what your boundaries are. So they'll know, like, if it's a Thursday, don't ever call me to come out on a Thursday. If it's a Friday and it's been a long day, and I say it's been a long day, don't even bother. Like, don't ask. But I don't feel like that should ever like deter people from reaching out to you if they're genuinely your friends. I feel like I've learned to be your friend the best in that way by asking my friends like, hey, do you want to go somewhere, blah, blah, blah? And they'll be like, no, not today. I had a long week, so I'm just going to chill. And I say, okay. Because if the shoe's on the other foot, I understand how you feel. I'm not going to get in your way, sis. Enjoy your rest. And I really respect friends who just kind of like take it for what it is. Like, I like friends who are genuinely really like blunt and open about how they feel. Like, if I did something to bother you, let me know. If you don't want to do something and I'm hype and ready to go do something, just be like, sis, I'm really not feeling it. Can we do this another time? I'm not going to get mad. And I feel like your real friend should not get mad at you. They shouldn't be pissed. They shouldn't not talk to you anymore because you're not trying to do something with them. But I feel like that's going really well in my journey right now. Just saying no. For the people who I want to give explanations to, I'll give an explanation. And it's not saying a mean thing. Like, some people just going to get like, nah, not today. And other people, I'd be like, no, not today because I had a long day. I did blah, 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 blah. But everybody doesn't have to get that. But one thing I still am struggling with, no lie, is just getting over kind of like the feeling bad. Like, there's times where I've just been so tired and my friends have been like, hey, we're going to go out this time. And I'm like, yeah, we're going out at this time. And then when it get to the day or get to a couple hours before, and my body is just like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. And I have been in that situation a couple times where I'm just like, and it's gone both ways. Like, friends have felt away, friends have not have felt away. But what remains true is I'm not going to just lie to you and be like, I'm tired, I don't want to go. And then you see me on my Insta story at another club down the street. Like, I'm not going to see you like that. But I'm just going to be honest and say, like, I can't make it. But I feel like discernment has helped me just get to that point, get to a point of feeling out the room, understanding, like, what people got going on with themselves to bring some type of energy or to have some certain type of demeanor about them. Discernment has helped me figure out, where do I need to spend my time and where I don't. It's helped me just kind of set boundaries, understand other people's boundaries. And I really feel like it's a blessing because once you can say no and not feel bad about it and know that you're still a good person and not feel bad and just kind of continue going with your life, I feel like you're on the right track, baby. So for this Monday's motivational tea, I just kind of wanted to take it back home and take it back to the one who guides us all and really say that there's nothing in this world that protects us like obedience to God and listening to your discernment. I know, however small, however little, it is discernment. Some people may, I don't know who listens to my podcast or who watches my YouTube videos, but thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. But this platform is, for me, like, it's meant to be real. It's meant to have real conversations. I have enough life experience to talk about my experiences with discernment, my experiences with this as a young woman. And I want to talk to other young women about everything that we go through. So there may be people that feel like, oh, you shouldn't say bad words, or you shouldn't talk about this, or you shouldn't talk about that, or, be careful what you say, or be careful what you do. No. Like, when it comes to anything that I put out in this podcast, anything that I put out on the YouTube channel, I wholeheartedly believe need to be heard by somebody. Like, putting this together, I didn't come up with this vision on my own. God gave this vision to me. And throughout just my trying to understand what I need to do with it, trying to understand, what is Young Monarchs in 10 years? What is Young Monarchs in 20 years? It always came back to, it's just real, like real conversation. And then I have people say, you shouldn't talk about this, or you shouldn't talk about that on it. But that's not real. God is telling me to be real. God's telling me to talk about what women go through, what young women go through. And we go through all of this. I got a lot in store for July. I'm letting you know on this Monday, the first Monday of July, we popping all month long. Okay. We got so we have a sex episode coming. What else we got this month? We got next week we're gonna have a goddess episode, getting in tune with our femininity, in tune with our bodies. The rest of this month are gonna be guest episodes. What's the other episode? There's 2 more episodes this week. I can't think of them off the top of my head. Zine. Oh, I think we have like a toxic episode, getting rid of toxic in your life. We just got July is booked and busy, baby, over here at Young Monarchs. We are booked and busy. And God is just telling me to keep it real. I am a young Black woman, and a young Black woman in the South knows that you are not supposed to talk about sex, and you're not supposed to talk about sexuality, and those things are just not to be talking about, and those things are to be hidden and closed off and blah, blah, blah. And no, it is not. Because if we are not talking to each other, talking about our experiences, talking about the things that we go through, talking about what happens in our lives, there's somebody listening, or I'm listening to somebody tell me their experiences that I need to know. I need to connect with other young women and say, like, I'm here with you. I feel the same way, or I know exactly what you're talking about. And we need a place where we can be real and talk about anything without worrying who feels away. And if you're listening to this podcast, you can blame it on me when it comes up in your life. Oh, well, when I was listening to Young Monarchs podcast, they were talking about me. You can say, you can put it back on me, sis. Put it all on me. I'm good. But it's my duty. I feel like God's given me this vision to be real and honest with women. Like, I serve an amazing Lord. And he wouldn't have given me these visions. He wouldn't have given me all these talents that I feel like I have. He wouldn't have given me these abilities if I wasn't supposed to share them in the ways, in the pictures and the visions that he puts into my head. And how he tells it to me is, sis, all your life you've been closed off. All your life you worried about how people felt, how people cared about you. But really you was the one the whole time. You was it. You was it the whole time. But you didn't want to say nothing. You didn't want to step up. You didn't want to be seen. You didn't want to have your voice heard. You could have helped so many girls already. You're catching up now. Is how I really feel. I feel like if I would have took the vision that God gave me and took my discernment to make the right decisions, to just put myself out there and to just be free and be open and be honest about who I am, what I want, how I feel about things. I feel like I could have definitely been further than where I am, but I'm definitely where I need to be right now, because I'm just now understanding, like, I have something to say. And every morning I pray to God and I say, like, work through me, Lord. Work through me. Let your will be done. What you have for me today. Whatever you think we need to do, you let me know and I'm going to do it. And here I'm able to be honest. I'm able to be open. I'm able to talk about things that so many women are not, quote unquote, allowed to talk about or shamed upon. Like we're cutting that down. We're going to start cutting that down now. Women can absolutely talk about anything in this world that they want to talk about to anyone, whatever way, except disrespectful, and in what manner that they see fit. Because I genuinely feel like God is present in all aspects of our lives. Like God is not only present in the areas that feel easy and comfortable, or the areas, this is supposed to be seen and you're supposed to do this. But what about the things that you do that you're really not supposed to do? God is also there. And like people need to talk about it. Like pay attention to what your discernment is telling you. Pay attention to the feelings you have around people and during conversations. I feel like all my life I've been quiet and just learning about discernment, learning how to feel the room, learning how to observe. Honey, I am the observe queen. I can see everything. When I go out, when I was in high school and my mom had to put me on the bus by myself early in the morning when she wasn't there, I knew to pay attention to my surroundings. I knew to watch everything. Look this way, look that way, look behind you. See how you feel. Some don't feel right around somebody. Don't do it. Don't go close. Stranger danger. But it's all discernment. I've been practicing my discernment my whole life. I've been feeling the room my whole life. But now it's time for me to share. And that's what I'm doing. So yes, sis, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for kicking it with me this episode. I don't know. I hope something I said stuck. Something stuck. I don't know if it struck some nerves. Think I'm talking about you. I don't know if you've had these same experiences. Like, I definitely want to know. And I hope y'all have a great Monday, a great week. Practice that discernment. Say no. If you got people in your life you're not sure about, opportunities you're not sure about, ask yourself those 4 questions. We are out here trying to make the best lives for ourselves, create the best space for ourselves. And discernment is the number one thing you should do, determining who gonna be in that space, what that space gonna be, and where it's gonna be, sis. But thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at _young monarch. If you want to follow your girl at Miss Tierra XO, but be sure to stay locked and loaded all month long because my consistency is paid off, sis. The rest of the month will be full of guest episodes, and I am so excited. And we just going up from here. I don't know. God got me before my timeline. I might have to put another plan together. But things is popping off. I hope y'all have a great week. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, like if you're watching on YouTube. I did not do a video for this episode because it's so late, but I loved it here. I hope y'all have a good week, and I'll see y'all next week.
Love this episode of Young Monarchs? Make sure you follow and subscribe to take this journey with us. Follow us on Instagram at _young monarch to stay up to date on the latest episodes, bonus content, and more.